What's going on, Washington fans? We're back with another video, and in today's video, I have my 5 training camp standouts through week 1. This is only week 1, and we don't have pads on, so don't take this too far. Don't read too much into this, but we did this with mandatory minicamp. We did this with OTA, so I figure let's do it through the first week, and we'll continue to do this series. Before we get into it, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button on the road to 2,000. I cannot do it without you. Hit that notification bell as well if you want to become a channel member. Link in the description for that. Let's go ahead and get into today's video. We'll start with the obvious one, JKR Brooks. Everybody knows this. JKR Brooks had 2 touchdowns the first day, one from JD5 and one from Marcus Mariota. The second day, he had a touchdown. Not sure who that was from. I cannot remember. I know I told you guys in the moment, but I don't remember who it was from. He has been balling. He was an undrafted free agent. I remember he went to Alabama. He had a big game versus Alabama, beat Auburn in that game. And then he transferred to Louisville, and he really balled out with Tyler Shuck at Louisville. He's had a great start to his career here in Washington. An undrafted free agent. He couldn't be turning more heads. Skylar Nelson said he's turning heads in the positive way. This is a guy that everybody's ranting about right now. We seem like we have one undrafted free agent that always stands out. Last year was Tyler Owens, and Tyler Owens did end up making the roster. And I think one thing that helps JKR Brooks really right now is that, JKR Brooks is a guy that he's going to play on the outside. He's going to be a vertical threat. He's going to go down the field vertically down the field. And, Terry McLaurin is out. We all know Terry McLaurin is holding out. So one thing that really helps him is Terry McLaurin being absent. So there's another outside guy in JKR Brooks. Also, I think that when you talk about the battles of the wide receiver room, you look at KJ Osborne. He's unsure. Michael Gallup, unsure. Who are some of the other guys? There's a few other guys that are unsure about their position. You know who I'm talking about, some of the veterans. And I just think youth beats these older guys. I think that JKR Brooks' youth beats guys like Michael Gallup, beats guys like KJ Osborne, because you want him to grow. You want JKR Brooks to grow. So he has a great shot to make the roster right now. He's been doing really, really good right now. Oh, and guys like Chris Moore, that's who I meant too. Youth is going to beat guys like Chris Moore. Youth is going to beat guys like Michael Gallup. Youth is going to beat guys like KJ Osborne. So JKR Brooks has a great shot to make this roster because, there's 5 guys here that are set to make the roster pretty much, right? Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and who else? Noah Brown. Those are the 5 guys that are locked in. There's nothing that can happen to make them miss the roster. Who's the 6th guy? And that's what I talk about. Chris Moore, Michael Gallup, and KJ Osborne and JKR Brooks, they're all fighting for the position. But the one thing that sticks out about JKR Brooks, he's had a better training camp than all of them, and he's way younger. Youth is always going to win. All right, let's move to Mike Sainristil. This is just a guy you cannot ignore. He went back to his nickel slot cornerback position this offseason. He's been shining, to say the least. He's looked really good. He had a play yesterday where he blew up Jalen Lane. Jalen Lane was trying to, I forget what Jalen Lane was trying to do. It was something with the screen action, and I just remember that they said Mike Sainristil blew Jalen Lane up. So Mikey's getting after it, man, and he's back in his natural home. He was going up against guys like Jamar Chase last year, getting cooked because he's not an outside guy, right? That's not what he plays. So you have to give him a shot at his natural position. That's what he's getting this year, and he is balling out. He's taking real good advantage of that right now. So I'm really intrigued for Mike Sainristil. I'm also really intrigued for the guys that he's going to play around at that position. Noah Benogany can be teaching him. Jonathan Jones is really going to mentor Mike Sainristil. That's something that helped him because, Jonathan Jones is a guy that he's looked good throughout training camp so far, but he's an older guy. He played with the Patriots for 10 years. And he really got a good experience at the nickel position. So he's going to be able to teach Mike Sainristil some valuable things. So those two just kind of remind me of each other. Jonathan Jones just seemed like when he was younger, he would be like he would look like Mike Sainristil kind of. So Mike Sainristil is getting good teaching from Jonathan Jones, but he's going to play around guys like Trey Amos and Marshawn Lattimore. They're going to be the outside guys. And, I just feel like Mike Sainristil is going to have a big year this year. He's looked really good through training camp. I can't remember. I don't think he had a pick yesterday. He was getting after it yesterday because the whole defense was getting after it, but he's been getting after it every single day. You got to watch Mike Sainristil for sure. That natural position is just seeming to be really helping him out. The next guy is Trey Amos. This is a guy that when I've done these videos, every single phase of it, I've talked about Trey Amos. I've talked about him every single time. He just impresses in every single phase of the offseason so far. This is a guy that you can't ignore. He goes on the outside every single day. He had a press conference the other day. He said, I can cover any wide receiver you want me to. I can, stick with any wide receiver you want me to. And it's just, it's great what he's doing right now. You just can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. Trey Amos has been fantastic, through his whole offseason, pretty much. And this is a guy that's going to be a day one starter. He's a press cornerback. He's really strong. He's wearing number 23. He has that swagger to him. He just looks like a guy that's going to get after it this year. We certainly do need Trey Amos, so the second round pick that was supposed to be a first round pick, he understands that I dropped a little bit in the draft, and I'm going to show you why I shouldn't have dropped. I'm going to show you why every single team passed on me, or I'm going to show you why you shouldn't have passed on me, because every single team passed on him, besides the Commanders the second time. It was interesting to see Trey Amos out there. He did get beat a few times, but it's going to happen. Marshawn Lattimore is probably teaching him a lot of good things. He seems like a younger Marshawn Lattimore, to be honest. He's got that swagger to him. He's a great cornerback one. So Trey Amos is going to be a guy to watch. You need to watch him. We talk about it. That's the rookie that's really been awesome this year. Really do not ignore Trey Amos because he's really a guy you need to watch. I'm invested in Trey Amos. I'm really excited to see what he has. At Ole Miss, he was really, really good. I do believe he had 3 picks last year, so he has been really, really good. All right, so let's get to Tyler Owens, my 4th guy on the list. By the way, these are in no particular order. Tyler Owens, he was an undrafted free agent last year. He was kind of like JKR Brooks this year. Last year he came in and dominated. He looked great through training camp. He was a special teams ace last year. I've always talked about this. If you can be great at special teams your first year, you're going to get defensive snaps the next year. They're going to try you there. And so, what do you know? The first training camp practice this year, which was Tuesday, guess who was starting? Tyler Owens was your other starting safety besides Quan Martin. And so, I talked about it. If you're a special teams ace, you're going to get reps on the actual defense. And this is a guy that he's really strong. He looks great. And you just can't ignore that Tyler Owens, being an undrafted free agent, has done really good. He's a guy that he was starting, the first practice. Like I said, he's an undrafted free agent, so nobody expected him to be here. That's what makes him the standout. If he was drafted by the team last year, okay. But that's what makes him the standout, is he was an undrafted free agent last year. He's really standing out to be able to be starting this year. If he can do that, he's just gotten buff. He's just gotten strong. He looks really good to me. So Tyler Owens is, we talk about that safety spot. Tyler Owens could be the gunner that ends up landing there, because we talk about it. There is an opening at the safety spot, aside from Quan Martin. Quan Martin, and then who else is going to play safety alongside him? Because Jeremy Chin left. Do we know if Will Harris is the answer? Tyler Owens could easily have a great offseason and slip right into that spot. I think they would like him there. I think they would want him there. They really do like him. This year, he's kind of a lock for the roster. Last year, obviously, was definitely not a lock. He's not going to play much in the preseason. They really like Tyler Owens. If Tyler Owens can't be a premier safety this league in this year, then he could just be a special teams ace again, and he's still helping your team out. They showed that they like the special teams aces. They gave Percy Butler and Jeremy Reeves an extension, and that's all they do is special teams. So if Tyler Owens could be one of those guys that doesn't really play safety, but he's a special teams ace, he can still contribute to this team. So while he's looked good at the safety spot so far, this training camp, that's why it's on the standout list, he could easily just go back to what he did last year and continue to dominate in the special teams area. But Tyler Owens, you can't ignore it. He has definitely been a standout this year through training camp so far. So don't ignore Tyler Owens. My last guy is Deebo Samuel. This was a tough one. You've had guys like Will Harris. You've had guys like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. You've had Jalen Lanes. So you've had a bunch of guys that have stood out, but I came down to Deebo Samuel. We all heard what he did day one. Day one, Deebo Samuel, the first play of Washington Commanders training camp, the first play of it, Jaden Daniels long down the field to Deebo Samuel. The first play, Deebo Samuel sets the tone without Terry McLaurin. He sets the tone. He goes down deep, and he gets a touchdown pass. So day one bomb for Deebo Samuel and Jaden Daniels. I really like the seasoning connection between Jaden Daniels and Deebo Samuel. Without Terry McLaurin there, there's one positive without Terry McLaurin being here, and that is Deebo Samuel connection with Jaden Daniels, because when Terry McLaurin misses these practices, Deebo Samuel has to become the number one wide receiver. There's nobody else that can do that. He has to lead the wide receiver room. He has to become ultimately the veteran that he is. And so this is really interesting. Deebo Samuel's looked great so far. He just put out a post last night with all the he took a picture of all the tweets and put it in his edit last night. Skylar Nelson's a beat reporter, by the way. I saw her write this on X. She said, Deebo Samuel makes it his mission every single day to prove why he's going to be great this year, why he's back. And we've talked about this a lot. His insane workout videos, his insane weight loss. He's just naturally a thicker dude. So if you're going to call him fat, that's just how he is. You just critique his family, because that's the way he was made. He's just a thicker dude, but you can see the muscle on him. I mean, when you're out there, you can see the muscle on him clearly. He almost looked like, to me, was like a DK Metcalf a little bit, like just a jacked guy. He's gotten really fast this offseason. He just looks like he's going to be great in this league. I could talk about Deebo Samuel all day. Him without Terry McLaurin, that him and Jaden Daniels connection has gotten really good. Obviously, you're a slot wide receiver, but he can do a lot. He's going to be a big weapon for Cliff Kingsbury in this offense. I cannot wait. And it was a low risk move. I mean, you only gave up a 5th round pick for him, so I just really don't mind this. We'll see what Deebo Samuel has. If anything, if he doesn't do good this year, then you just ship him off next year. You paid for him a decent amount, more than Terry McLaurin this year, but it is what it is, man. So Deebo Samuel would be my 5th standout. So just to recap your standouts through week 1 of Washington Commanders training camp, JKR Brooks, we all talk about it. The UDFA had 3 touchdowns already. Mike Sammer's still doing really, really good. He's had a few pass breakups. He's looked physical and tough. Trey Amos, he had an interception yesterday. Trey Amos has looked really good. Tyler Owens is just, he's playing that safety position. He started the first day. You better watch him. Deebo Samuel has had a few touchdowns. He looks really, really good as well. All these guys look great. All these guys are proving their position early. Who's going to emerge? Who's going to take those away from them? We'll have to see, because these battles are going to be really spectacular. It's back together weekend in the NFL. I don't know if you can see. Well, you can see some of NFL Network. I have NFL Network pulled up on my TV. We're watching back together weekend. Sadly, the Commanders don't have practice today, but they do have practice tomorrow at 8 a.m. You better believe your boy's going to cover that practice. I will definitely cover that practice, have the video right out for y'all with clips and analysis, so stay tuned for that. That's going to do it for me today, though. You guys have a great one. Hails to the Washington Commanders, as always. Training camp 2025 going good so far. Peace.